Good afternoon, Flosstube. It is Monday, June 29th, and I am back to share a lot of haul, some WIPS, and a finish. So I want to jump right in. I'm actually filming this, taking a break in the middle of my work day so that we will have better lighting, and I hope that this first take will be what we need. So I'd like to do WIPS first, and then I will do our finish and then show some haul and a new project. You know that I pulled out my Cross Stitch Nation by Heartstring, Samplery, Beth Twist, and this has been the most fun stitch. I have to tell you, if you have not done this design and it appeals to you at all, it is hilarious. It's so much fun. So this is what I have done. I did change some of the colors, and I remember telling you a little bit about my variegated flosses that I used in her dress. I have also used a variegated floss here in the letters, and I substituted the blue for a brown, and that same floss is in the gentleman's jacket. Then just this weekend, I started the border at the top with this little flower. So I have changed this red. This is a DMC that is close to the family, hopefully, of this DMC, but is that not the most fun? And I will be finishing the people, and in between, hopefully, working on the flowers that go all the way across. And then, excuse me, there will be a border across here and my initials. This was just my cheaper linen from Hobby Lobby, but it was the color I wanted, and so this has been my whimsical, have a lot of fun stitch. 32 count, 2/2. So that is a fun one. And then I am working on another Mary Queen of Scots sampler, which I know you have seen, and I want to show you that because after we talk about my finish, I want to talk about the designer of the Mary Queen of Scots and do just a little bit of a designer focus because I have a lot of their patterns now. So the one I'm working on is a Mary Queen of Scots sampler. If you've ever watched my videos before, you know that I tried to purchase this one at a gift shop at Linlithgow Palace in Scotland, and they did not have one available for purchase. And we were just recently able to purchase this from eBay at a really good price. So I was just thrilled to have it. I hope this lighting will help you see. So I'm not sure what I've done since we were together last. Maybe the horses and riders. Maybe I filled in some on the castles. But this is up for a finish. The border will have to go all the way around, and I've shown you before this would be what the border is going to look like, but not a huge piece. So it is doable. This is on a 14 count Ada. I believe it's called Oatmeal 2/1, and this is Anchor floss, which I really am enjoying. Then the other new start is also by Cobweb Designs, and it is called Ruby Wedding. We are coming up on our Ruby wedding anniversary, and my husband ordered this one, packaged in this adorable bag, if that isn't the cutest. And this is so small and so adorable. It's going to be a very quick stitch. I just started it yesterday. Sorry, I'm going to move that thread. So this is the very middle. Same Ada, still anchor floss, but this will be a small remembrance for this very special anniversary. And of course the ruby, the pinks and the reds for the ruby anniversary. So far, just a blast to work on. So I'm going to talk a little more about Cobweb Designs in just a moment. But you know that I cannot wait very long to reveal a finish when I have one, since I have so many WIPS. So this weekend, with lots of hours spent stitching, I completed my Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor. And I have to give my family credit for allowing me to stitch and doing other things for me, such as heating up leftovers for dinner and anything else they could do. I was in that stitching chair with short breaks until almost 11 o'clock on Saturday night, but I was determined to get this finished. So it has been pressed. I think it will need another really good press before we go to the framer, but of course we won't be doing that for a little while. So here is the unveiling of Summer Quakers. Oh, I wish I could really show you this all at once. Maybe if I step back. Oh yes, good. Well, still not quite. Now, I've talked for over a year about this beautiful piece. It was a birthday gift. The floss, which is Valdani, the hand-dyed fabric, and the pattern. So I've worked on it a year and a couple of months. And it has been not only a wonderful stitch, but a very educational experience as far as my stitching is concerned. And I'll try to share a few of the little tips that I learned. Before I do that, let me tell you that the alphabet and the numbers at the bottom are done in Algerian eyelets. And those took a while. They're fun to do. But if I had this to do again, I think I would do a few letters at a time whenever I could position them and not wait until the very end of the sampler. The first thing I would say is to be prepared to run out of this lighter green. We had to reorder this one, and I've told you about that in previous videos. You will probably, if you decide to stitch this, also almost run out, if not completely. Where is that darker green? You will also probably barely have enough of this green here. There are two particular greens that you just use them up. I would also recommend organizing the threads in little baggies or some other storage system, because when you have used a certain amount of the little ball, the identifying paper that tells the number falls out. And if you do not keep up with that, you will constantly be referring to other places you've stitched to figure out which color you're working on. But the Valdani threads are very nice to stitch with. You just take them off the little ball and use them as they are. They are 3-ply. There is a little bit of trouble with knotting at times, so you want to keep your length of thread cut fairly short. And I used a Paco thread needle organizer and had my symbols labeled on there, so I always had a needle ready for, let me stand back again, for my use. That was a sweet viewer's suggestion, Cynthia Brew, and that has been a lifesaver. So I'm just beyond thrilled about this finish, and go for it. If you pick one of the seasons, there is summer, which is of course this one, and then you can go all the way around the year, autumn, winter, and spring, going by which colors you prefer or maybe which motifs. My husband joked on Saturday night, well, I have the other seasons purchased for you. And of course it was a big joke because he knows how much time went into this, and then of course how much money, because it is not a cheap project to stitch. So I have not picked another one, I will say that, maybe one day. But thank you for your encouragement as I worked on this. I loved it. But I will admit, toward the end, to getting frustrated with those Algerian eyelets, and then with filling in some of the tiny little motifs that I had left out. I guess that would be my other hint, is to do what my friend Donna is doing, who is working on this Sal still, and she is doing each section in its total. She's doing everything in each section before she moves on to the next section. Wise move, Donna. Do it if you pick this up. Don't do as I did and say, oh, I'll just save those small motifs until the end. There are a lot of small motifs, so you will be busy at the end. Otherwise, I'm not washing it because it is hand-dyed fabric. And I know that the Valdani is supposed to be color fast, but I do not want to risk that, which is why I did not take this piece outside my home. I didn't stitch it in the car or on a trip or in someone else's home. It has been in my house, mostly in my bedroom the whole time. So I feel that it's clean. Always use clean hands, of course, which we always do. But I can't wait to have it framed. I don't know where I'm going to hang it. I have asked several of my children to be thinking where would be a pretty place. Okay, let me look at my list. I do have a new Sal, which is about to start with one of my daughters, and we are so excited to do this. We ordered My Big Toe, Peace I Leave With You, from the book of John in Scripture. And we're both going to do our own colorway, but we're hoping to get this started maybe this week. Now, this is our COVID Use Your Stash piece. We chose it for that reason because of the verse being so comforting and relevant to what we're going through right now. But all I had in my stash, the only fabric I had left, was this even weave. And I stitched another small sampler on this. I will show that to you next time when I show you my progress on here. So I decided that I would put those two together when they're finished. So I am going to use two of the flosses that were in that sampler. And this is the Madeira floss. So I'll just be using two blues. Rather than monochromatic, we will have, what word would that be? Two colors. So the lighter blue and the darker blue. And it's hard to tell in this lighting, but I think it will be a beautiful way to stitch the design. My daughter is talking about doing pretty much the same thing with different colors, maybe a blue. So we will be stitching this at the same time and cannot wait to get that started. It's going to be a fairly large piece on this 28 count. Now I gave myself plenty of border, but it's going to be big. So we'll see how we do. But I can't wait to start because this will be our memory of this difficult time, but also of our time working on something together, which I'm thrilled about. Now I would like to do my designer focus, and then I have a shout out, and is that it? Yes, I believe it is. So Cobweb Designs is based in Scotland. It is based in the Scottish borders, and the company has been in business almost 40 years. They work with museums, historic homes, and art galleries, and produce these designs, which are often sold on the location of what the pattern is about, which is where we first found out about it. But they all use anchor floss, and they have on their website, which is just cobwebdesigns.com, all the patterns you can order. The thing that is most impressive is that their shipping is extremely reasonable and the turnaround time very quick. I would say that the subjects are as varied as birth, wedding, anniversary samplers, Celtic designs, cities, especially those in England and Scotland, gardens, authors. There is one on the Bronte sisters, one on Jane Austen, one on Mary Shelley. Let me think. Oh, Sir Walter Scott, of course. Then many of the cities, which I probably already mentioned, and looking at my list, there's something else. Oh, they sell fabric. They don't sell linen, but they do sell Jobelin and Ada, and they have some really good prices on their fabric right now. It's on sale. So we have had an amazing experience, and I just wanted to let you know about this special company. So now I will show you the haul that we acquired just this summer from this lovely company. Other than the Mary Queen of Scots sampler, which you saw, and the Ruby Anniversary sampler, we ordered the chart on Edinburgh because it is one of our favorite cities. And you can see that the designs are very similar to each other and yet very different in their subject matter. We do have a wall on our staircase where we hope to put all of these together. Then we got the Inverness sampler. Some of my ancestors are buried in Inverness. We actually saw that graveyard. So this is a city we'd like to visit again and explore. It is in the Scottish Highlands. And then we ordered Glasgow. We've been there twice, I believe. We would love to go back. One of our favorite destinations there was, oh, where is it? Do not tell me they don't have the Kelvin Grove on here. They do not. What is wrong? Well, it's the Beautiful Art Museum. Huh, I thought it was on here. But it's a fun city to visit, so we ordered that one. And if you are interested at all in literature or in European cities or in the Celtic and Georgian designs, they also have Georgian designs, you will love this website. If you remember the Scottish furniture designer, Macintosh, I believe, a lot about him. There's several graphs about his work. It's fun to explore. So if this is even faintly like your style, give it a try. Now, I got some happy mail, and I'm so embarrassed. I don't remember if I shared this with you, but this is from my friend with whom we sell a lot together, and she found it in a shop that she was able to visit before the COVID quarantine. And this makes me feel that I've told you this story before, but I'm going to show it again because it's beautiful. At some point, we're going to start a sale with this lovely Rosewood Manor, Music Amongst the Trees. And we just love everything about this. The birds, the other little woodland animals, the trees, the sentiment at the bottom. So that will be a fun sale coming in the future. Cannot wait. I know that most of what I've shown you today is a style that you might not normally see on Flosstube, or you might not stitch yourself, other than summer Quakers probably. But just know that there is a world out there of patterns, kits, designs that we don't see a lot of. And we've had a really good time exploring what is available. And I just love to stitch a little of everything. I don't think I have a style, maybe traditional, ultimately, I guess, because my home is traditional, but what fun to explore these new designers, or new to me, and to collect and then stitch and display in my home. I hope that all is well with you. This is still a very stressful time in our state of Texas. The cases of the virus have gone up, up, up. Things are going back to staying home as much as we can. Wearing masks is mandatory. So many changes because of what has happened. But we are again practicing our gratefulness and hoping that things will begin to improve. Lots of exciting things going on, family changes, and we are grateful. Thank you for being with me today. And before I close, I would love to do a shout out. I found a fellow Flosstuber who is also a resident of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and she is brand new to Flosstube. She has 3 videos, unless she's added one, and I want to commend her to you. I watched one of her videos and was so thrilled to meet her on her video that I had to go watch the next 2. She has a heart for her precious family and for stitching, and I loved watching her because of her energy and the fact that the projects that she is stitching are some that I have not seen and now am enabled to look for. Her channel name is Molly West, the Sensible Stitcher. Molly West, Sensible Stitcher. Please check her out. You will be glad you did, and you too will be enabled to try a new designer, maybe a new idea for your stitching, and you will just have fun as I did. Let me go and get back to work. I hope this will upload today, tonight, and I would love to hear from you. If you're new, please subscribe. I would be honored to have you on board. If you are returning, you are appreciated, and always those comments are read and enjoyed. Please stay safe and take care. See you soon.